So, as you've probably heard by now, the famous Scottish actor Sir Sean Connery passed away on Halloween at the age of 90. He was a big deal growing up in the 80s and 90s. He was most known for being the first actor to portray 007 James Bond. And he was also popular for playing Connor MacLeod's immortal sword-fighting mentor Ramirez in the Highlander series, as well as Indiana Jones' father, Henry Jones. He won an Oscar for his portrayal as veteran Chicago cop Jim Malone in The Untouchables, and also starred as King Arthur on First Night and John Mason, the expert Alcatraz escape artist on The Rock. I wanted to do a video about Connery, but with so many great options, I was left wondering which one to choose. Do I just do a listicle of all of his works? A top 10 list? If I do a movie review, which one? James Bond seems like a good choice, but let's just say those movies didn't age very well. And then someone posted a list of Connery quotes, and this one piqued my interest.
Be careful what you shoot at. Most things in here don't react too well to bullets. Right.
How did I forget one of my favorite movies that led me to read my first Tom Clancy novel for a homework assignment? And that led Tom Clancy to becoming one of my favorite, if not my favorite authors. So here, in honor of the late Sir Sean Connery, is my review of the 1990 film, The Hunt for Red October. It starts out with a long pull-out shot of Captain Marco Ramius topside of his submarine as it embarks on its maiden voyage. The Red October, a Typhoon-class nuclear submarine, was testing its new silent running system called a caterpillar drive that enabled the submarine to operate stealthily in the waters and avoid sonar detection. Jack Ryan, a CIA analyst, sounds the alarm in America that something was fishy. Fishy. When Russia finds out via a Dear John letter to the Soviet command that Ramius has decided to defect. They tell the Americans that the captain has gone rogue and are scrambling to stop him before he attacks the US. The US is trying to decide what to do about the rogue nuclear sub when Jack Ryan decides that he indeed has intentions to defect. Most of the command officers do not agree with that, but the National Security Advisor decides to give John the 4 days until Ramius is close enough to actually attack the US to prove himself right. And now, Ryan the analyst is flying out to a naval frigate, and then out to a submarine, and eventually riding a DSRV rescue sub from the US sub to the Red October, where he gets into an underwater shootout. The Red October was the first film entry of the Jack Ryan series in 1990. It was followed 2 years later, in 92, with Patriot Games, a prequel set before Ryan joined the CIA, with Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan replacing Alec Baldwin. 2 more years later, Ford reprised his role in the follow-up film A Clear and Present Danger. The series was then on hold after Tom Clancy was not happy with how his books were being filmed, especially A Clear and Present Danger, where it had so many rewrites that it was almost unrecognizable compared to his book. Since Clancy was only selling the rights to his book one at a time, he took a break from the movie biz until 2002 when The Sum of All Fears was released. And now with Harrison Ford being a little bit older, they wanted to reboot the series with a younger Jack Ryan and cast Ben Affleck as the lead. If Clancy didn't like how much they changed Clear and Present Danger, he must have been livid about this one, so no further adaptations to Tom Clancy books would be filmed until after his death, when Paramount released Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, starring Chris Pine as Ryan. And that film flopped pretty hard as well. And then in 2018, Amazon released the newest Jack Ryan edition with the TV show that reboots him again, but was able to flesh him out with the drawn-out arc that really did justice to the characters, starring John Krasinski as Ryan. They released a second season last year, and they had plans to make a third before the pandemic halted production. So back to where it all began, and the reason why I'm reviewing The Hunt for Red October. Sean Connery's portrayal as the Russian sub-captain might seem an odd choice for the Scottish actor, but his performance as the cool rebel captain made the movie what it was. Alec Baldwin played the main protagonist of the story, but Sean Connery was the fuel that kept the movie going. When the ship's doctor said they had to turn around after the political officer's unfortunate accident, he nonchalantly blew them off and said, "Of course not. The mission must continue." His character was one of the most highly decorated captains in the Soviet Navy, and he had trained most of the captains that were sent to hunt him down, so he had a believable, consistent chill that kept everyone from freaking out, as there was a saboteur aboard the sub, and their own navy was seeming to fire upon them. The soundtrack to this movie was also pleasant in my recent rewatch. It used a lot of choral music with the Russian themes, but also a march theme with just the right hint of synth that 80s love to give us. It helped build up suspense in several action scenes, and closed out with a festival choral arrangement as the title credits appeared. There was also this song sung by Red October's crew as they were embarking that was also the theme song for the 1987 video game The Hunt for Red October. Should you watch this movie? Yes, I think it holds up rather well, even though they were worried about releasing the movie after the Soviet Union fell a few months prior to this release date. It was a hopeful message about people rising up to do what was right for the whole world among the fear of possible nuclear war. So this movie might not be Sean Connery's most famous film, but it's still one of my favorite of his. He thoroughly brought the Russian captain to life, and this film to our hearts. Thank you, Sir Connery, for your great work. And that's it for this video. If you liked what you saw, please leave a comment down below and like and subscribe and stuff. I need a little bit of help with YouTube's algorithm to get my videos out to more people's faces, and clicking on the like button or even dislike button, if that's your thing, helps increase interaction and tells YouTube that people should see this video. So help me out with that if you could, please. And that ends the call to action portion of the video. I'll be putting out more mini reviews soon, as those are quick and fun to make, and I'll be doing a bigger projects as well. Until then, I'm Mr. Movie Lover, and I love movies. Thanks, and bye.